everybody, again, welcome to Fab's Music Cafe. As we promised during the pilot, here is my friend from the UK, Devon, exactly, wonderful and fabulous Mr. Kris Barras. How's it going, Kris?
It's all good. How's it going?
Cool. Well, I guess we're sharing the same the same day, right? Different weather, different outside, but
Yeah.
all locked in and doing our thing. So, listen, let's. I want to start to just get a little bit more, to get some of our fans here to get a little bit more familiar with what you do, who you are, where you're coming from. Of course, we're friends. We're working together with a bunch of different things, and we know your story. But a lot of people now in the music world that know you as the frontman for Kris Barras Band, guitar player, singer, songwriter, and also guitar player and singer with us with Supersonic Blues Machine. But some of them might not necessarily know your whole story, and I think that's quite interesting. Kris, for everyone that doesn't know, it was just a professional athlete, was an MMA fighter. Can you give to the public out there like a quick, view of this switch of careers? How did it happen, and similarity? What gets you to go back to music or get into music in the first place, coming from this completely unrelated world?
Yeah, the thing is, I started doing martial arts when I was, probably about 5, 6 years old. But I also started playing guitar at the same time. So my whole life, I always, I did martial arts and I played guitar. Those were my two loves throughout my childhood, all the way into becoming an adult. When I left college, my aim was to be a full-time professional musician. I was teaching a lot of guitar. I was gigging in a lot of different bands, but I wasn't really getting anywhere. And at the same time, I started training again. I had a couple of amateur fights and it went well. And I just got more and more opportunities with the fighting stuff. So I just found that, from my late teens, my life just strayed more towards the fighting stuff. And music kind of just took a back seat. It was always there, but for me, it was just a hobby. It was just something I did for fun. The fighting stuff, I did that for fun too, but that was my career. And I had a great time. It wasn't just the fighting stuff. I was involved in promoting events. I had my own fight organisation, the Southwest Fighting Championships. I trained fighters. I had a lot of champions that trained at my gym, and so yeah, it was a great period of my life. But I just got to the point where I wanted to stop competing, and I was still training other people. I stopped actually fighting myself, and then I kind of needed another outlet, so I started writing songs, and then I set up a band, and here we are.
Fantastic. So, and what do you find as I know actually martial arts, I've never really did any martial arts. I've always been involved in sports, but since I got to know you, and obviously I'm acquainted with a lot of other athletes and friends that are into that world, it seems that discipline and control and, not only over what you're doing, but your body mentally and the focus that you need to have, it's something that seems to apply well towards the actual good outcome of the music and how you can train yourself as a musician. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. I think, any aspect of life, if you've got discipline and you're prepared to work hard, then it's definitely going to help you to succeed. And I think, MMA, mixed martial arts, is one of the toughest things any person can do, mentally and physically. The dieting, the regime you've got to have at professional level is, it's extremely strict. So yeah, being used to that kind of lifestyle for so long, it definitely helps when you take some of those elements and apply it to music. Musicians notoriously laid back, and that's the kind of stereotype. But
yeah, well, the partying and all of that, of course.
But yeah, it's definitely helped me. It's definitely helped me.
Well, now let's fast forward a bit. You're just living your fighting days behind, and how that switch happened. It's just like, okay, I'm tired of this. I wanted to do music. How all of a sudden, from a professional and very, happening career, you decided to go back to your first, or your other first love?
Yeah, but it wasn't really one for the other. I stopped fighting because I'd been doing it for 10 years. I had a couple of fights out in Asia, and I just kind of felt like I'd achieved everything that I wanted to achieve. So it was in August 2014. I'd been out in Asia for a few months, had a few fights out there. I won my last one, and then I was kind of like, you know, I feel like I've done everything I wanted to do. So, you know, then I started writing songs. It wasn't a case of like, oh, I'm going to stop fighting and try to become a rock star, you know. It was nothing like that. It was just, you know, I kind of had a lot of energy that I used to put into training, you know, for my own fights, and then that kind of needed to go somewhere. I needed an outlet, and I started writing songs, and I set up a band, and that's just kind of what happened. Then as the band got, you know, bigger and bigger, and more opportunities came, you know, my involvement with the fight industry had to come to an end. You know, I stopped promoting shows, I stopped training fighters and training other people, and just concentrated on the music full time. I've been doing that for a couple of years now.
That's great. Well, actually, it's quite remarkable how, I mean, and we all know common friends and colleagues of ours, they've been working so much throughout their own life to barely get any recognition. And even though, I mean, I'm not saying that you started playing 2 or 3 years ago, because you started when you were very young and you went to college for it. You're very, very well prepared. Guys, if you don't know it, Kris is a very, very, very well prepared musician, okay? It's not just like somebody picks up a guitar and just fakes his way through, okay? Just take it from me, okay? No, it's just, it's amazing how, I mean, you do the switch, and that's why I was trying to get the analogy with the discipline and the focus of the martial art, because as you know, I mean, this business is not only how talented you are, how much, you know, how much talent you have, and how well are your songs. It's just, you know, there's a bunch of different things that come into play that are not easy to kind of like, not describe, because we can talk about it, but it's a combination of things that needs to happen. You need to be the right person with the right people at the right time in the right place, and, you know, a lot of luck, and obviously you need to have all the right cards. Now, it's just really quite astounding to me, having been doing this for longer than you on that sense, and having to deal with a lot of other great talented musicians, seeing how you just started. This is okay, we're gonna get the band together, and within 2 to 3 years, now there's, you know, it's Kris Barras everywhere. Yeah. So, I mean, how did you manage to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the secret of that? I mean, at least if there is a secret, if there is something that you can give as a suggestion to our friends and fans out there that would like to know that, because that was pretty astonishing, considering that you were not, when you did this, I mean, you're very young, but you were not like an 18 years old pop talent out of any TV show that all of a sudden becomes a star overnight. You made yourself your own star within 3 years worth of hard working. And we all know that. You just, you know, log to your webpage and see all the concerts that you did. It was just ridiculous, ridiculously too many. How did you make it happen? I mean,
well, I think one of the things, you know, when I was in the fight industry, you know, I had lots of different businesses. So I had my fight promotion, which was one of the biggest in like my region in the southwest of the UK. I had like a clothing brand, equipment brand called Force Lukather. Didn't work out, but I had it for a couple of years. And I was also a shareholder in a couple of different gyms. So one of the biggest things I think helped me when I was coming into, when I was setting up the band, was I decided, you know, I didn't have any long-term goals. So I had like short-term goals, and it was all centered around having fun and doing gigs that I wanted to do. You know, I've been playing in cover bands, doing weddings and all that crap, and I hated it. And it started to make me hate music. But all I wanted to do was just sing my own songs to people that want to hear them. But in order to do that and to get these festivals to notice me and promoters to give me a chance, I had to create a professional-looking brand. And that was something that I had experience with the gym, with my clothing brand, and with my fight organization. They're all things that were very well branded and I was involved in. It wasn't all on my own, there's different people involved. But I had a lot of experience in that side of things. So when I set up the band, I treated it like I was setting up another business. You know, and a lot of musicians don't do that. You know, it's like, oh no, I create my music, man, and, you know, and that's it. But I wanted, you know, like I said, didn't start going, all right, I'm going to do this and I want to become a rock star and I want to tour the world. It was never anything like that. I just, you know, I was happy playing to 50 people if they were 50 people that stood there, watched and wanted to hear original music. But like I said, in order for people to take me seriously and to give me those opportunities, I had to create a brand and I had to create an image and, you know, do everything professionally. I had to make everything look good, and, you know, and I invested a lot of money. You know, this is another thing that people don't realize. If you were to set up a business, if you were to set up a shop, you know, on a high street, you'd have to invest money. You know, music is a business. A band is a business. You as an artist is a business, and you have to invest in that. Now, not everyone's able to do that. I was fortunate enough that I was earning okay money in another career, and I was investing that in my hobby. You know, but I got friends that do things like motocross, you know, and they'll spend £10,000 a year just doing motocross as a hobby. So I thought, well, I don't mind spending 10 grand a year on my hobby, music, playing music to people that want to hear it. And that's what I did. And I invested the money, and it got me out there. It meant that I could travel and go and do these things up country. And because where I live is quite remote, it's down, you know, right down the bottom of the UK. There's not a lot going on. And that's it. And that's one thing that I see. You know, I come across some talented people, and you think, they just don't get it. They don't understand that it's a business. You know, they're just like, oh, I'm doing a gig. Why can't the promoter pay me £1,000? It's like, well, no one's buying tickets to see you. You've got to create something where people want to buy tickets. Then the promoter might pay you £1,000, you know? And I went through all that. I went through, you know, doing gigs for promoters where I was only getting paid like £200. Yet I was having to pay all the bands, pay the hotels, stuff. You know, I was doing some shows. I was £1,000, £1,500 in debt from like one show.
Oh yeah.
But then I got to the position where I could turn around and say to promoters, hey, if you don't pay me this much, then I'm not playing. Like, you know, this is how much it costs for me to get to there, for everyone to earn money. And, you know, it took a while to get to that stage where, you know, you can put yourself in that position. Whereas a lot of people think they should be in that position straight away. And it's like, well, you know, okay, there are some horrible promoters out there and agents and other people, blah, blah, blah. But like anyone else, they're all trying to make money. You know, you're trying to make money, they're trying to make money, record labels trying to make money, everyone's trying to make money in an industry that is not what it used to be. There's not as much money in it. You know, and I think I think artists need to be more understanding of that, you know, and I've always understood the business side of things because I've been a promoter, you know, I've been a fight manager, I've been a event promoter, you know, putting on fight shows. So I've been on like both sides of it. So I, you know, when I was starting out, I could understand, you know, that promoter taking a chance on me. All they've seen is a video on YouTube. I've sent them an email. They're not just going to pay me £1,000 to come up and play. Of course they're not. You know, you need to prove yourself. Do the first one for cheap. Prove you can sell the tickets. The next time it's like, right, it costs this much. You know, and that's kind of how I always approached it.
Great, fantastic. Well, listen, two more questions for you. One is, and thank you for sharing all this, because I think that's very, very important for a lot of fans out there, but also from some of the fans that are musicians themselves, and they're at the beginning, and they're always struggling with this, how I have to deal with it. So thanks, Kris, for this. Was very, very interesting, your take on it. Now, main thing, businessman, athlete, songwriter, guitar player, singer. Now, music-wise, just give me a couple of examples, 2 names, okay? That were really fundamental for you to shape who you are and what you do as a singer and as a guitar player. They could be singer, could be bands, could be whoever. Just the 2 names in the music that allow you to be who you are right now. I mean, they inspire you to become who you are right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, whittling it down to 2 is very, very tricky. But if I was to go back to, you know, when I was a kid and I was listening to music and I was learning how to play, there was 2 main bands, or one's a person, one's a band, that were kind of my main influences when I really took to the guitar, you know, when I was probably between the age of like 8 and 9 and up to like 15. That's when I really took to the guitar and started taking it seriously. Obviously, I started playing when I was like 5 or 6, but you know, it's a different thing when you're that age. Once I got to about 8 or 9, and I really started loving it, really getting stuck in. There's 2 things. Gary Moore was always my first, and that was my introduction to the blues. Hearing Gary Moore's collaborations with B.B. King, Albert King, Albert Collins. And that's when I started to discover you know, the real blues, through Gary Moore's introduction. And there was a British rock band called Thunder. I'm not sure how many Americans know them. You should know them because they're awesome. They were one of my favorite bands, you know, probably my favorite like bands when I was growing up. And yeah, they were a huge influence for me, like vocally. Not I tried to sing like I can't sing like Dennis, but yeah, like, you know, he was one of my favorite singers, and like song wise, just great songs, and that for me, like just true rock and roll. And we're actually doing a show with them at Wembley Arena in November.
Beautiful.
So that's going to be cool. I've never met the guys before. I've seen them lots of times. But yeah, they were a hugely influential band for me.
That's great. Well, and last question is, it's in relation of what's going on right now and the reason why we're here. Everybody, again, we're locked at home for this incredible and terrible pandemic, this, you know, situation and condition that is affecting pretty much the whole world, and kind of like, at least for us musicians, kind of like forces us to stay in and reevaluate and review everything that we're trying to do or that we had lined up and all this kind of stuff. So my question is actually very, very simple. What right now thinking if tomorrow all these bad things just will go disappear? You wake up and the whole thing is gone, and your prime minister says, guys, it's safe to go out there, have fun. We took over, you know, the thing, the enemy's done, and worldwide the world opens up. What would be the first thing that you want to do?
I'm going straight out and getting a English fryer, English breakfast, full English, all you can eat. My favourite place, Brody's in Torquay. That is what I'm doing, because I love eating out and I miss eating out, and I hate having to cook at home, because I've cooked more in the past week than I have in my whole life. It probably even in my fighting days, you know, I love eating out. So that would probably be the first thing I do. I'd go straight out and get myself good old-fashioned English fryer.
That's great. Cool. Well, listen, thank you so much, Kris. And you guys, sorry, there was like a little gaps in technicality. Again, this is like a friends to friend, living room to living room, or improvised home studio to improvised home studio, because these are the times in which we're living in. So again, thank you so much, Kris. Follow us here. We're going to get you the link where you guys can access the performance that Kris has put together just for you. It's our way to kind of like give you something different and to get you to be part of and to see Kris or all the other artists that will participate to Pabst Music Cafe in a way that you don't necessarily get to see every day. Just you know, check out the links that is going to be coming out at the end of the show, and follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, open your membership with the All Guitar Network, and that's all for free. Download the application. Follow us on Facebook, because that's where you can get the listing of all the upcoming shows and all the other guests. And, you know, again, please support the artists, help us. This is a good thing. Artists, musicians who always do something that it's incredibly rich, and most of the time we take for granted. Think how these days of stay home would be if there were no movies, if there were no records, if there were no books. It would be tragic. So this is our way to get back. You guys, we count on your support. So again, once again, thanks, Kris. I'm going to tell you later what is going to be the first thing that I'm going to be doing, but I'm looking forward to playing with you anytime soon. And for you guys, just keep tuned, just following us, and check out the new, the other guest and Kris performance. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.